Good morning. Welcome to Two Non-Yarn Snobs. Just one of us here. My name's Sabrina. I'm happy to have you. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're returning, we appreciate you too. This is take 2. Vlogtober, day 14, 2019. October the 14th. So I recorded this with the phone ring. I'm at work. And I had to answer it. And I went to go and edit it out. And somehow I edited everything out and just saved the phone call. So y'all don't want to listen to that, right? My son and I went camping with his Cub Scout pack over the weekend. We camped Saturday. And they did an amazing job. It was a lot of fun. And they brought in the Arkansas Search and Rescue dogs and showed the boys how they work to find missing people and how they work and find people who are no longer with us or dead bodies. Anyway, that was a little creepy, but the kids loved it. You know, kids and dogs, how can you go wrong? And then we had a little bit of free time, and then we had lunch, and the man that came in and fixed lunch for everyone, his son actually graduated out of Cub Scouts last year, and he's a Boy Scout now. And I thought that was really sweet that he came back and cooked lunch for everyone. And they took stick bologna. Do y'all know what that is? It's bologna like that's in a tube that's not already sliced up. And he put it in a smoker. And it was really good. Really good. My goodness, I had no idea. And then after lunch, we broke up into dens. This is my son's 4th year in Cub Scouts. He's a Weeblo. And they divided out and went to do different activities. They took a hike with the science teacher from the high school. And he volunteered his time, and he did a great job. And showing the boys about different plants and different wildlife, and you know, you don't get to see a lot of wildlife when you got 55 Cub Scouts and like 85 parents tromping through the woods. But they had a great time. And then they split and got to go and build an emergency survival shelter out of items that were on the forest floor. And then we had a craft, and the boys made survival bracelets, and they used the Solomon's knot and paracord that could be taken apart if you needed rope in an emergency situation. I'm just drinking convenience store coffee. There's a convenience store that sits right in front of us. And the clasp on the bracelet was glow in the dark. It had a compass on it, an emergency whistle, and flint and steel. When you took it apart, there was flint and steel to start an emergency fire. Now, these boys are ages 6 to 12. So some of their bracelets got taken away and given to the parents because the boys were trying to make fire. They're boys, what do you expect? And then they had a geologist in that talked to them about the rocks that were local. And she had found several different varieties, and I thought that was great. And then we had a small break for free time. And then we had dinner, and they cooked grilled chicken and onions and bell peppers and fried potatoes and California mix on the grill. It was very lovely. And once again, he volunteered his time, and amazing man. You know, the volunteers that keep this program going are very selfless and do it for the boys. And he didn't even have a Cub Scout anymore, and he came back to help. My heart. You know, my heart. I have been the den leader for 3 years. I stepped down this year. I really wanted a man to step up and take this den because, you know, these are boys and they need guidance by a man. I don't know if that's going to happen, and this mom is not going to leave them with no one. But I think that they would do better with a man. You know, because they're 9 and 10 years old now, and you know, some of them really need the guidance of a man. Mine included. My kid needs a man to lead him too. And after dinner, we had a campfire. Because we only have one campfire. You can't have individual campfires at your tents. And the boys performed skits, and they told stories, and it was all really nice. And it was cold. Cold for us. 34 degrees is cold for us. And this is the coldest weather that we've had in a long, long time, and it's gone. It was 2 nights, right? Of course, when we're camping. It's going to be 77 today, and be back up into the 80s later in the week. And I laughed and told the scoutmaster, I said, I hang in with y'all, and I can still do most everything that you 30 and 40-year-olds can do. I said, maybe not the 20-year-olds, but sometimes I'm smart enough not to. And he laughed and said, probably so. And I just asked Landon, I said, all that's left to do is to go and sleep in the tent. I said, and we can definitely do that if your heart is set on it. Or we can go home and sleep in our beds and come back in the morning. And he goes, can we really do that? I said, absolutely, we can do that. He said, let's go home, Mommy. I said, okay, let's go home. And we went home and we slept in our beds, and we got up early the next morning and went back to the campsite. They had breakfast and devotional. And the man who did the devotional did an amazing job. He talked to the children about love, faith, and hope. And that was really special for me. And I think that Landon took a lot from it too. They had pancakes and sausage and eggs for breakfast. We broke down our camp and we got home about 11:30 or so. And my husband had only been up for a little bit, so we cooked breakfast, and so we had breakfast twice on Sunday. It's okay. And so I cooked breakfast, and we ate breakfast, and we just kind of hung out yesterday and didn't do a lot of anything. I didn't dye any yarn. I know, surprising. I get it. I'm actually kind of running low on undyed yarn. It's definitely on my Christmas list, but Christmas is still a little ways away. I might have to break into Anna's yarn. She has 10 skeins of undyed yarn still. I know I gave her 3 for her brother's socks, but I didn't break into hers. So I might break into hers and take those 3 skeins. And she really, really liked the raspberry and cantaloupe yarn that I made. So I might even dye her skein and surprise her for the next podcast. Don't tell her, okay? I guess that's really all I have going on right now. Oh, this is the break room where I work. And thankfully, I think I'm going to be able to get this in without the phone ringing this time. And there's no dogs. Well, there's dogs in here. But they're just boarding dogs and they're laying down sleeping. This is the break room here at work. There's no art on the walls. It's just a place to go and smoke or have your coffee. This is the microwave. That's the refrigerator. And I think that's probably a broom that you see. I know it's not maybe the best background, but it is what was available today. And everyone, I suggest you go and get this magazine. 45 cents a pattern if you do the math. By Interweave. Look how pretty that sweater is. Okay, we'll talk more about this magazine tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much. If you've been with us from the beginning, you have my heart. Because we love doing this. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.